Dollhouse Adventure Books, Candy Cottage, a Hansel and Gretel story. By Jeanette Cole. And Hansel and Gretel lived happily ever after. The end, read Daddy, closing the storybook. Rose asked Daddy, "Would you ever leave us alone in the woods like Hansel and Gretel's papa did?" "No, never," said Daddy, giving Rose a big hug. Rose and David were visiting Nana's house for the holidays. Their toys and games were at home. "Daddy," said David, "can you read us another story?" "Not now. I need to help fix dinner." "No more cookies or candy, okay?" he said. "Dinner will be ready soon." "Let's have just one cookie," whispered Rose, reaching for the plate. "You heard Daddy. We're not allowed more sweets," said David. "But there's nothing to do at Nana's house," whined Rose. David spotted the gingerbread house. "Hey, do you want to pretend that we're Hansel and Gretel?" "Okay," Rose said. "Let's start," David said. Once upon a time, there was a brother and sister named Hansel and Gretel. They lived with their parents in a cozy cottage at the edge of a big forest. They were poor, but they always had enough to eat. The family had a big, beautiful garden full of all types of vegetables. Hansel and Gretel helped their mother tend the garden and helped their father gather wood in the forest. On market day, they would all go to town to sell their extra vegetables and wood. They used the money they made to buy milk, bread, and cheese. Each time they went to town, they would see a colorful sweet shop. It was filled with candy and cakes. Their mouths watered at the wonderful sights and smells. Hansel and Gretel would always ask their parents, "May we have some candy, please?" Often the answer was, "Not today. We only have enough money for the things we need." This made Hansel and Gretel pout and feel sorry for themselves. One day, Hansel and Gretel sat on a blanket at the edge of the forest, eating their bread and cheese. "We almost never get candy," Hansel grumbled. "It's not fair," Gretel said. "Other kids get candy. Let's run away. Then they'll be sorry." Hansel agreed. They wrapped their bread and cheese in the blanket and went into the dark forest. At first, Hansel knew where he was. As they got deeper into the thick woods, he began to feel uneasy. Gretel was scared. "Are you sure you know where we are?" Hansel said, "I'm pretty sure. Maybe we should make a trail before we go any farther." He looked around for something to mark the trail. "We could use breadcrumbs," said Gretel. "They're white and easy to see." "Good idea," said Hansel. He took the bread from the blanket. They kept walking, dropping a crumb of bread every little while. By and by they came upon a pretty little pond. They were tired and hungry from their long walk. They ate what was left of their bread and cheese. "I think we should go home now," said Hansel. Gretel agreed. They got up to fold the blanket. "Oh no! The birds and squirrels have eaten all the breadcrumbs!" cried Gretel. "Now we're lost!" Hansel said, "Don't worry, I'll find the path." They wandered in the woods until it got dark, but could not find the way home. "Let's sleep here," said Hansel. They crawled under a tree and made themselves a bed of leaves. They fell asleep together, wrapped in their blanket. In the morning their tummies rumbled with hunger. They wandered this way and that, but could not find the path home. Finally there was a glimmer of sunlight ahead. Excitedly, they pushed through some bushes. What a wonderful surprise awaited them! They saw a little house made of gingerbread and decorated with sugary icing and colorful candies. "Can this be real?" exclaimed Hansel. "It sure looks yummy," said Gretel, her eyes sparkling with delight. The children raced up to the house. "Let's just try a bit," said Hansel. They nibbled the corner of the house. "It's real candy," said Gretel. She broke off a piece and began munching away. Then they heard a voice from inside the house. "Nibble, nibble, little mouse, who is nibbling at my house?" Hansel and Gretel looked at each other, wide-eyed. Then Hansel nervously called out, "It's just Hansel and Gretel, two hungry children. We're lost, and we haven't had a bite to eat all day." The door swung open, and to their amazement, a gingerbread man peeked out. He said, "For friends who are hungry, I've plenty of food, but don't eat my house. It's really quite rude." "I'm sorry I ate a piece of your house," said Gretel. "Me too," added Hansel. "We want to be friends." The gingerbread man smiled. "My name is Gin. Please come on in. I have a hunch it's time for lunch." Hansel and Gretel followed the gingerbread man into the house. The gingerbread man placed a pot of warm melted marshmallow on the table and bowls filled with candy corn and jelly beans. Their faces lit up. "You eat candy for lunch?" said Hansel. "You're so lucky." Gin replied, "My garden grows candy. It's really quite handy." Gretel said, "We have a vegetable garden at home. I wish we could grow candy." "This land was enchanted a long time ago. No veggies will grow here. I've tried, so I know," he said. "You want to grow veggies?" asked Hansel. "Candy is boring if that's all you eat. Veggies or cheese for me is a treat," Gin replied. Gretel asked, "Can we see your candy garden?" "Of course you may. Then we can play," said Gin happily. Gin led them out to a magical garden where chocolate drops, marshmallows, and other candies grew. In the yard, they even found a cookie bush and a candy cane tree. They all played hide and seek and then played tag. The shadows grew long, and Hansel said, "This was fun, but it's getting late. We should go home now." Gin said, "It soon will be dark. You two will get sleepy. Please stay for the night. The woods can be creepy." "I suppose staying the night is a good idea. We can leave first thing in the morning," said Hansel. For supper, they had chocolate pie and candy pumpkins. After supper, Hansel groaned. "My tummy doesn't feel good." Gin said, "Peppermint candy will settle a tummy. It's good for you, and also it's yummy." Hansel sucked on the peppermint. He lay down on the rug and fell asleep. Gretel slept next to him. The next morning, Hansel felt better. "Today we must go home," he said. Gin frowned. "Please don't go. I need some friends. I'll be sad if your visit ends." "Sorry, but Mama and Papa will be worried," he replied. "At least eat breakfast before you go. You'll soon be hungry if you say no," begged Gin. Hansel nibbled on a plain cookie, while Gretel gobbled up frosted donuts. Then Gretel moaned, "Oh no, now my tummy hurts." She started crying, "I want Mama." "I think all these sweets are making us sick," said Hansel. "What are we going to do?" Gin thought hard. Then he confessed. I know where your house is. I saw it last year. I'll go find your parents and bring them back here. Jin dashed out the door and ran through the forest as fast as a fox. He had not gone far when he heard someone shout, "Hansel, Gretel, where are you?" "Yoo-hoo!" shouted Jin. Jin hurried towards the voice and found Mama and Papa. They were stunned to see a gingerbread man. Papa said, "We're looking for our children." Run as fast as you can! Gretel is sick," said the gingerbread man. He swiftly turned and sprinted back to the candy cottage. Mama and Papa followed, struggling to keep up. They burst out of the dim forest into the bright meadow. Jin was at the door. "Please do not fear. Your children are here," he said. Mama and Papa hurried into the house. They hugged Hansel and Gretel. "Oh, Mama, I have a tummy ache," cried Gretel. "We've only had candy to eat," said Hansel. "I'm afraid it upset our tummies." Papa asked, "Why did you eat so much candy?" "Jin's garden only grows candy. There was nothing else to eat," Hansel said. "I'll make some tea for your tummy. I brought it with me in my basket," Mama told Gretel. Gretel sipped the tea and started to feel better. "I didn't mean to make them feel bad. Candy and sweets were all that I had," said Jin. "I know," Papa said kindly. "Will you show me your garden?" "This candy garden is spectacular," said Papa. "Jin likes vegetables too, Papa. Can we trade veggies for candy and play with Jin sometimes?" Hansel pleaded. Jin nodded. "Veggies for candy would be a good deal. With some bread and cheese, I'd have a great meal." "All right," said Papa. "I'll mark a trail from our house to Jin's so you can visit. But Hansel, you must always be home before dark," he added. "Agreed indeed," smiled Jin. "Hooray! Thanks, Papa," Hansel said. "I'm sorry we ran away. We'll never do it again." "Glad to hear it," Papa said, hugging Hansel. From that day on, the bunny family and the gingerbread man were very good friends. "And they lived happily ever after," proclaimed David. David and Rose were startled out of their make-believe world when Daddy suddenly called out, "Dinner's ready!" They looked at each other and laughed. "Yay! I hope we have heaps of veggies," exclaimed David. "What?" said Daddy. "That's new." Rose and David just giggled. The real end. If you enjoyed this book and would like to purchase it or other books, please go to Amazon.com. Thank you.